All right, so next up we have Adesanya versus Jones, which could possibly happen in 2021. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, great call. I mean, we just talked about Blachowicz and Adesanya fighting. The fact is that Adesanya went up in weight right when John Jones said that he's going to heavyweight. But the thing is, and this is what Luke Thomas said on his podcast, The Morning Combat, with Brian Campbell. But the fact is that he's not running away from John Jones. I mean, John Jones had his whole career to go to heavyweight, and now he's choosing to go. I don't think Adesanya's running away from him or ducking him. I think that this is a great opportunity for him. And he's one of those fighters. And I know you'll agree with me, Nibs, but he's one of those fighters that has the body frame to fight at all of these weight classes. We saw him in kickboxing fight at heavyweight. We saw him fight at all these different weight classes. And when we see his height and his reach, the frame that he has, we know that he can move in all of these weight classes. Now, with age, you start to stick to the higher weight classes. You get more used to it. I mean, look at Conor McGregor. He was able to make 145. He looked like he was on death's door, but Adesanya doesn't look like that. But at one point, I think he's going to stick to one of these higher weight classes. I'm going to say it again. And if you've listened to any of my other podcasts, you know that I think the time that when Brendan Schaub and Israel Adesanya stood next to each other, we all figured out, wow, this guy is really tall. He's standing next to a heavyweight contender at one point, and he's almost the same height or maybe a bit taller than Brendan Schaub. That's when I think it clicked for everybody that this guy's not just talking smack to John Jones just to get more followers on Twitter. He's a legitimate threat to anybody in the heavyweight division and in the light heavyweight division. I still think that he needs some time to develop in all of those weight classes, because I love to look at this example. But when Luke Rockhold went to 205, he packed on a lot of muscle. He looked like he was built out of stone. But when it came to that time, when he fought against Blachowicz, actually, it didn't look like he was ready for all of that weight. It just didn't look like the same Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold being one of the most tricky strikers in the UFC, just didn't look the same. He didn't have that fluidity, and Blachowicz put it on him. But I'll put the asterisk on it. Luke Rockhold had some underlying injuries. I think it was staph infection or something like that. But I still think that the weight had something to do with his performance that day. So that's why I think Adesanya has to look at all of these examples, take a look at them, and study them for the possible fight with John Jones.